Hey everyone, if you're getting ready for your ICSE Computer Applications exam, you have come to the right place. In this explainer, we're going to break down all the most important questions and topics, giving you a crystal clear roadmap to absolutely ace this thing. Okay, let's just dive right in with a question you're likely to see. Now, does this look a little tricky? It's a classic output problem, and it's specifically designed to test how well you understand the way Java handles numbers and strings when they're all mixed up together like this. But here's the good news. There's a really clear pattern to these questions. Seriously, once you see the logic behind it, you'll be able to solve them with total confidence. We're going to show you exactly how. So let's start with Section A. Think of this part of the paper as being all about scoring those quick foundational marks. It's all about theory and multiple choice questions. If you get this part right, you're already well on your way to a great score. First things first, a core concept you absolutely have to know. Bytecode. This is the magic sauce that makes Java platform independent. The compiler creates this special code which can then be understood by the Java Virtual Machine, or JVM. You can just think of the JVM as a universal translator that's on every computer, allowing the same Java code to work literally anywhere. And you for sure have to know the 4 pillars of object-oriented programming. It's the bedrock of Java. Abstraction, that's just about hiding the complex, messy details. Encapsulation is all about bundling data and the code that works on that data into one nice, neat package. Inheritance lets a new class just grab all the properties from an existing one. And polymorphism just means many forms, letting an object act in different ways. Trust me, these concepts are guaranteed to pop up on your exam. This slide nails the difference between a class and an object. The easiest way to think about it is this. A class is the blueprint for a car. It defines everything about a car, but it isn't a car itself, right? An object is the actual car that you build from that blueprint. It exists in the real world, and it takes up space. All right, let's move on. Now it's time to tackle those tricky output questions head-on. This is an area where a lot of students lose easy marks. But after we go through this, that's not going to be you. So we're back to our original problem. How do we solve it without just guessing? Well, it all comes down to following one simple, super important rule. The key is the left-to-right rule. Java just reads this whole thing from left to right, one piece at a time. It starts with 8 plus 7, which, okay, that's 15. Then it hits the string ICE. Now here's the trick. As soon as a string gets involved, that plus sign stops meaning addition. It now means concatenation, which is just a fancy word for joining things together. Everything after that gets joined, unless it's inside brackets, because brackets always get calculated first. And boom, there you have it. The number 15 gets joined with the string ICSE, and then that whole thing gets joined with the result from the brackets, which is another 15. So the final output is 15 ICSE 15 with no spaces at all. Here's another quick-fire question you might see. This one's designed to check if you're paying attention to indexing. Just remember, in Java, like a lot of other languages, we don't start counting from 1. So the crucial thing to remember always is that indexing starts from 0. That means the index of the last character is always just the total length minus 1. In this case, 151 characters means the length is 151. So you just take 151, subtract 1, and that gives you 150. Easy peasy. All right, now for Section B. This is where the big marks are waiting for you. This section goes beyond just theory and really tests your programming logic and your problem-solving skills. This is where you really get to shine. So, if you want the inside scoop, this is it. According to expert tutors like Emmett Sir, these 10 programs are the ones you see again and again on board exams. Why? Because they cover all the essential logic, from loops and conditions in prime number checks to array stuff in bubble sort. Mastering this list is probably the single best thing you can do to prepare for Section B. And here's a pro tip, straight from the source. Listen up, because this is a game changer. Don't just type the code into your computer. Write it out by hand. Trace how it runs on paper with different numbers. This dry running technique helps you find logical mistakes and really truly understand how the code works. Plus, clean, commented code gets top marks. Okay, digging a little deeper into Section B, let's talk about arrays. This is a critical topic that you absolutely cannot afford to ignore. So let's focus on exactly what you need to know. First, let's just nail the basics. An array is really just a simple way to store a bunch of values of the same type under one single name. So instead of creating 10 different variables like num1, num2, num3, You just create one integer array to hold all 10. So much cleaner, right? Let's be real, you are almost certainly going to get a question about sorting algorithms. This table breaks down the two big ones for your syllabus, bubble sort and selection sort. You have to understand the difference in how they work. Bubble sort is all about comparing neighbors and swapping them over and over. Selection sort is different. It's like a talent scout that finds the smallest value in the whole list and puts it right at the beginning. Okay, let's take a breath. We've covered a ton of ground. Key theory, those tricky output questions, and programming logic. Now, let's pull it all together into a final game plan you can take with you into the exam hall. So this right here, this is your checklist for success. First, master those OOP principles. For output questions, remember that left to right rule is your best friend. Practice those top 10 programs until you can write them in your sleep. Always dry run your code on paper, and finally pay attention to the tiny details, because every single semicolon matters. And one last thing, and this is so important. In an if statement, A equals 5 checks if A is equal to 5. But if you accidentally type A equals 5, you're trying to assign the value 5 to A. And that's just going to cause an error. You have to be precise, because the compiler won't give you any points for code that's almost correct. Look, we've laid out the path for you. You have the blueprint to go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling over-prepared. You have the strategy to crack this exam. The only question left is, which one of those top 10 programs are you going to master first? You've got this. Good luck.